Okay, sorry for the tangent last episode. I think we have a CG in chapter 9, so. The rain clatters against my window and I can hear the wind howling through a crack in the wall. It all feels very ominous. I can't sleep either with this noise, it's unsettling. My mind keeps racing about how to secure the scale, to prove myself as the gatekeeper once and for all. Since the Baron won't invite me over, I'm going to have to force my way into his residence and find the scale myself. I only need a small moment with the scale and then I'm out. That sounds feasible if I ignore the constant presence of vigilant servants and my lack of breaking and entering skills. In truth, I don't even know where the Baron lives. I'm gonna have to ask EEYOK for help, but he seemed against the idea when I mentioned I wanted to steal the scale. I'll have to convince him somehow. Suddenly, a loud crash can be heard right outside of my room. I bolt upright in bed, eyes wide with shock. "What was that?" I exclaim out loud, scrambling out of my bed. I open my bedroom door to look outside. Broken shards of a vase litter the floor right next to my room. Was someone here? I can't see anyone in the silent corridor, only the sound of the patter of rain on the windows from my bedroom can be heard. It's too quiet. A few seconds later, Mandy comes running over. "Your Grace!" she calls out in a frenzy. "What happened here?" "I don't know. It fell. Someone was here," I explain. "Someone? Who? All the servants are in bed." An unease tightens its grip on me. Is someone inside the house? Could it be the Empire? Are they pursuing me despite Veritas' protection? Well, that didn't happen last time, so I doubt it. "Search the manor," I instruct Mandy in a serious tone. Someone broke in. Mandy, who is just about to pick up the broken shards of the vase, stands up and nods at me. "Right away." She hurriedly scurries away from the crime scene, leaving me alone. Suddenly, I feel very vulnerable in my nightgown, standing where someone else had been just moments ago. Did something in the timeline change for the Empire to start sending an assassin after me? I nervously bite my nails, fearing the unknown. Do you really think the Empire would send an assassin that would knock over a vase? Eventually, a figure returns to the hallway. I expected Mandy, but it's EEYOK who strides in, looking slightly breathless. "We've secured the perimeters and found no signs of forced entry. There's no one inside the manor that we could find," EEYOK reports. I rub my arm, still feeling uneasy. "The vase didn't fall on its own," I say, eyeing the shards that still haven't been cleaned up. "Understood, Your Grace. If there's someone inside the manor, I will find them," says EEYOK, bowing in front of me. He's about to leave, but I shoot out my hand to stop him, feeling my heart drop. "Your Grace?" he inquires, his gaze on my outstretched hand. I don't feel safe alone," I confess, feeling embarrassed. "Could you imagine choosing the kind option? Would you position someone outside my door? Nah, you stay with me." "Could you stay with me?" I ask him, my eyes pleading. EEYOK locks eyes with me, his expression wavering. "Would you like me to?" he asks softly, his tone gentle. I nod at him, clutching my hand close to my chest. "Please, I would feel much safer when you're around." He looks away momentarily, then positions himself at my door. "Very well. I'll stay here until morning. Please go back to bed. I'll ensure no one enters your chambers." The uneasiness that had gripped me dissipates, and I offer him a relieved smile. There's something about EEYOK's presence that comforts me. "Thank you," I whisper as I go back inside of my bedroom. You know what would be amazing? Okay, this is not gonna happen, but I'm just saying it now. Her being like a princess in the other world or something. Secret dragon, something, I don't know. I know she doesn't have any markings or like fucking lizard eyes. But I'm just saying, imagine if she was princess of like wherever he's actually from, like his actual homeland or whatever. Imagine that. And then it would really be princess thing, and that's why he has like such a strong urge to protect her. I don't necessarily love the trope of like this person is bound to you by like blood or something, not in like a sibling way, but in like in just a way. Bound, like you're bound to this person, so you are compelled, you have no choice to protect them. I hate that because then it doesn't feel genuine. I'm sure there's a way to do that successfully. That would actually be pretty good for an enemies to lovers trope, where the dude like hates the person he has to protect, but like then it eventually turns to love, you know, that kind of thing. Hi, kitten. "Thank you," I whisper. Sorry, I keep going on tangents. "Thank you," I whisper as I go back inside of my bedroom. I manage to fall asleep with EEYOK stationed outside of my room. I approached the stable grounds with an umbrella tightened in my hand. The rain never let up during the night, and it continues till this day. EEYOK maintained a vigilant watch outside my room throughout the night, but come morning he was gone. I needed to speak with him about the scale, about the Baron. When I reached the grounds, I didn't expect anyone to be outside, yet it is EEYOK who is slashing his sword at a target dummy, not caring he is getting soaked. My cat's here. You can't see him, no. Oh, I think you saw him move. Sorry, give me a moment. I need to do Love and Deep Space, but like, what the fuck is Caleb wearing? My cat is back. What is he wearing? Everything's fine, kind of, apart from the scarf. Anyway. Okay, sorry, I really needed to do the Love and Deep Space stuff because it's getting to a time where I didn't do it the day because I was busy and the day was about to roll over, so I had to do it. I had to do it so I didn't miss a day. Also, this will not come out by the time that the next group cards are released. But the clearly Chinese inspired one is gorgeous. I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it. It's soon. It's after the Caleb Myth rerun, which I wanted to pull just so that I could like level up my cards, but it's that thing of where I don't want to spend too much money on it. So I want to save my gems. I don't know. Okay, right. Sir EEYOK, what are you doing out in the rain? I call out to him. But the rain is so thick it smothers my voice, and EEYOK continues his onslaught against the dummy. He grunts and shouts as he brings his sword down, maneuvering his way around. He seems agitated, angry even. Ah! He yells and delivers a final blow with the hilt of his sword, sending the weapon clattering into a nearby puddle. EEYOK curses loudly and strides over to retrieve the fallen sword, clearly not in the best of moods. I can't help but wonder if this is because of the intruder from last night, the one they failed to apprehend. Finally, EEYOK spots me through the rain and looks up in confusion as he picks up his sword. Confusion turns to worry and he hurries over to me. Your Grace, what are you doing out here? It's raining. Get back inside, he insists as he approaches. I extend the umbrella out to him to shield us both from the rain. I could say the same for you. Why are you training in the rain? You could get sick, I say, worried about his health. EEYOK sweeps his hair away from his face and shakes his head. Give us a sprite of his forehead. I'm fine. I can handle some rain. Why are you out here? I needed to speak with you. Is it about the intruder? I apologize for my incompetence, he says dejectedly. I will stand watch at your chambers tonight in case they return. I shake my head at him. That's not what I wanted to discuss. Can we get out of this rain? Please follow me inside. Without giving EEYOK a chance to protest, I start walking toward the main house. He quickly falls into step behind me and we head inside together, escaping the relentless downpour. EEYOK steps into the room, muddy boots leaving wet footprints in his wake. He looks somewhat awkward, hovering near the entrance, unwilling to approach the carpet. Sit, please, I insist, gesturing towards the couch. I'm fine over here, Your Grace, he responds. I'd rather not ruin the furniture. Not like the Duke can't afford new furniture, I mutter under my breath. With a discreet glance around to ensure we're alone and out of sight from any servants, I approach EEYOK. Sir EEYOK, I have a request. A rather bold one. EEYOK instinctively clutches the hilt of his sword. Bold, he echoes, a tinge of concern in his voice. Yesterday I failed to acquire the scale, I begin. EEYOK casts his eyes downward, his shoulders slumping in apparent disappointment. No, Your Grace, the fault was mine. I lost the match, he admits apologetically. I haven't been performing very well. His remorse seems genuine, and I realize that perhaps his earlier mood and rigorous training in the rain were connected to this perceived failure. Sir EEYOK, your performance has been nothing short of excellent, and there's no fault to find, I reassure him. I hold up my hand to silence him further. However, that's not what I wanted to discuss. Do you recall at the fair I mentioned wanting to steal the scale? EEYOK clears his throat. I thought perhaps I misheard you, he said. You heard correctly. If I cannot get the scale through conventional means, I may have to resort to more drastic ones. Your Grace, do you truly intend to steal such a precious item from a noble? I strongly advise against it. Even discussing this could place you in jeopardy, he cautions. That's why I've chosen to discuss it with you. I trust you won't divulge this to anyone else, I say, seeking his assurance. EEYOK presses his mouth shut. Good, he won't tell. If this is your desire, allow me to take this task myself. EEYOK suddenly voices his thoughts. He looks down at his muddy shoes. I'll take the fall if things go awry. I'm both surprised and touched by his willingness to shoulder this risk. It raises a small voice of concern in my mind. Why is he so eager to take this on? He could easily inform Veritas about my intentions. Instead, EEYOK is even offering himself up as a scapegoat. But I don't want to press my luck. I'll take what I can get. That's very kind of you, but I don't want you to bear the consequences if things go wrong. Besides, I intend to go myself. I don't actually plan to steal the scale, merely to touch it and then leave without being seen. Okay, that's good. I figured that she could do that and not have to steal the scale. EEYOK runs a hand through his hair, releasing a sigh. You want to break and enter into the Baron's mansion? You know this sounds ludicrous, right? I'm aware, I say, looking at him with determination flashing in my eyes. But Sir EEYOK, I have to know. I must confirm with my own eyes that I'm the gatekeeper. I'd never forgive myself if I didn't. He bites down on his bottom lip, looking conflicted in his resolve. We'll be swift, in and out, with no one the wiser, I stress. That's all. He raises a valid concern. The house will have occupants, Your Grace. Indeed, he's right. We'll have to wait for the opportune moment when the servants are asleep. As for Greg Kinsley himself... Oh, I say, remembering my bet with him. Due to my lost bet, the Baron wanted an audience with the Duke. I could arrange a meeting between the two of them, ensuring he leaves his residence with a few servants, I say. The house should be mostly vacant at that time, the perfect opportunity to execute our plan. Why would Veritas be like, yeah, sure, I'll see the Baron, when he clearly has so much disdain for him? EEYOK blinks slowly at me as he processes my idea. That is not the worst plan, he admits. So you agree to my request? I ask eagerly, closing the distance between us and looking up at him with pleading eyes. EEYOK retreats slightly, pressed against the door and looking mildly uncomfortable. He stammers. With an empty house, we'll just need a minute with the scale and then we can leave. I reiterate our plan. EEYOK sighs, evidently resigning himself. Very well, Your Grace. I shall accompany you to the Baron's residence. A sense of triumph washes over me. He agreed. Excellent. Thank you so much. Do you happen to know where the Baron lives? EEYOK stares at me blankly. Do you not know yourself? I huff for foiling my plan. No, I guess we must find out his address first. Asking one of the servants would seem suspicious, though. The Duke would likely have his address on hand in his office. Oh, that's right. He must have. He knows all the nobles in this city. I shall take a look through his office then, he claims. Make sure no one sees you, I caution him. It's best to do it when he's having a meal with me in the dining room. EEYOK nods in silence. I mentally review the plan. First, we need to obtain the Baron's address, then set up a meeting between the Duke and the Baron. Only when the house is largely empty can we make our move. There's a lot of steps involved, but I'm sure we can do it. EEYOK seems like he's got the necessary skills to get us inside unnoticed. I have to wonder why he's being so compliant to my requests, but I don't want to question it in case he retracts his offer. I'll gladly accept his help. EEYOK awkwardly clears his throat, drawing my attention. Is there anything else you require of me, Your Grace? He asks, appearing somewhat uneasy. This, position is... I suddenly realize how close I've become to EEYOK, essentially cornering him against the door. A very compromising position indeed. I step back to give him some space. Right, yes, that's all you need to do. You can go now, I tell him, feeling a hint of embarrassment. EEYOK quickly exits the drawing room, leaving muddy footprints behind. I hope he's not going to return to training in the rain. I sigh and plop down on one of the couches. I'll have to face Veritas and ask him a favor after losing the sapphire necklace in the first place. He's not going to like that. He's going to hate that. Think, Valkii, think. How do I convince Veritas to meet with Baron Kinsley? I know very little about the Baron except for his penchant for rare jewels and artifacts. Maybe that could be my angle. Tempt Veritas with the prospect of more precious gems. Just say you'll kill yourself. Just say you'll kill yourself. Say you'll bite your tongue off right in front of him and change the trajectory of his entire life. Okay? That's all you need to do. He clearly needs you for something still. Say you'll kill yourself. I also wonder, you have to look serious as well. You have to, like, have that look of craziness in your eyes, okay? I also wonder if he's at all worried about the intruder from last night. But before I can voice my thoughts, Veritas speaks up first. I'll be leaving the mansion in 3 days, he declares. I look up at him. Oh? Where to? To join Viscount Kotov at his casino, he replies. It's an opportunity for me to network and socialize with other nobles. Other nobles? I echo, feigning curiosity. Do you think Baron Kinsley might be among them? Is your mind still set on that flimsy scale? I thought we had settled that matter. Veritas sighs. It is settled, I confirm, but I couldn't help but wonder if the Baron might attend as well, given the networking opportunity. Kinsley has never joined our gatherings at the casino, says Veritas, clearly not thrilled with revisiting the topic. Is it because he's considered a lower-ranking noble? I probe. It is simply hasn't happened. Veritas dismisses. That does seem like a missed opportunity, I comment, hoping to bait him. Veritas looks slightly intrigued. And why is that? He asks, taking the bait. Oh, well, I figured it would be an excellent chance to network with someone who possesses such a rare artifact as a dragon scale. Imagine the potential trades and connections that could arise. Perhaps something even more valuable than the scale, I suggest. Veritas leans back in his chair, appearing to consider it, and I know I have him right where I want him. He hums out loud. Perhaps it is time to extend the courtesy to the Baron indeed. I'm sure he'd be delighted to get invited, I say, smiling sweetly. Of course he would be, Veritas says with a touch of arrogance. Attending an event graced by my presence is indeed an honor. Our conversation dies down and we eat in silence. However, the food doesn't look as appetizing anymore. Dining with such a narcissist makes every bite less palatable. A soft knock on my chamber door draws my attention. Mandy has just left, having assisted me in preparing for bed, a routine that I've never quite grown accustomed to. I gingerly place my hairbrush on the vanity and glance at the mirror, making sure I appear presentable. Come in, I beckon. The door swings open with a creak and EEYOK enters. Your Grace, he greets me. Seeing me clad in my nightgown, EEYOK's posture stiffens and he positions himself by the door, keeping a respectful distance. It's clear he's here to stand guard for the night in case the intruder returns. Do you believe the culprit might return? I inquire, my voice tinged with unease. It would indeed be a grave error if they did, EEYOK responds solemnly. I'll be here throughout the night. See, this is like... like, this scenario could be like the princess, like... makes up an intruder. This isn't what happened, obviously, but the princess makes up an intruder and then pretends to be scared so that she has him close by all the time. It's perfect. Yeah. His dedication to my safety makes a pang of guilt wash over me. If he's going to watch over me all night, he won't have time to sleep himself. But don't you need your rest as well? EEYOK's gaze drifts away from mine. I'll manage, he mumbles. I can't help but feel responsible for the strain he's put on himself. It's like I'm taking advantage of him, even though I know on a superficial level that he's simply doing his job. But he's only human. Or is he? Or is he a lizard? He needs sleep just as any other person. I resolve to wake up earlier so he doesn't have to stand watch the entire time. Your Grace, EEYOK interrupts my thoughts. I have obtained the Baron's dress. My eyes light up at the news and I rise from my seat, excitement bubbling within me. You did? When? A little surprised at my interest, EEYOK's eyes widen ever so slightly. Whilst the Duke and you were having dinner, he replies. Excellent timing, well done, I praise him, making him turn bashful. Uh-oh, someone has a praise kink, aka that's someone being nice to you, praise. Someone being nice to you kink. Can you write it down for me as well? I brandish a paper and quill from my dresser, gesturing towards it so EEYOK can note down the address. He hesitantly approaches my dresser, sliding past me and scribbles onto the paper. I've also managed to create an opportunity, I continue. The Duke and the Baron are scheduled to meet in 3 days, so the mansion should be relatively empty. EEYOK places the quill back in its holder and stands erect, waiting for further instructions. In 3 days, he echoes. Yes, I confirm. We can slip away once the Duke departs. Understood. We will leave under the cover of night. It should take approximately an hour before we arrive at the Baron's residence. The plan is gradually falling into place, but the question of how to infiltrate the Baron's mansion remains. Do you, know how to break in? I ask cautiously. EEYOK's eyes briefly meet mine, then wander away. You can rely on me, he replies, avoiding answering my question directly. Tempted to ask why he's being so compliant, I restrain myself. I was sure he disliked me before. Perhaps we have gotten closer after all? The windows start to violently shake, the curtains fluttering in tandem. There's someone outside my balcony. Is there? I walk away from EEYOK and immediately march towards the fluttering curtains. That's when I notice that the wind has blown open the hatch, leaving the window slightly ajar. It's the wind, I mutter, looking outside. Don't worry, Your Grace. It is very unlikely someone would enter through the balcony this high up, EEYOK assures me. He stands next to me and places the hatch back onto the lock, closing the window securely. I'll be outside your chambers the entire night. I nod, feeling considerably more at ease with EEYOK on guard. Very well, I wish you a good night, Sir EEYOK. I bid him goodbye. EEYOK politely bows in front of me before exiting my room. Please let them both be in a time loop. I try to make myself comfortable in bed, but I find it hard to fall asleep. The howling wind outside is relentless, keeping me up. This is the second night EEYOK has devoted to guarding my safety. He should be resting too. The window creaks loudly, a forceful gust of wind jolting me further awake. Sleep remains elusive, and I'm left staring at the wooden door. I step out of my bed, dragging my feet over to the door. I lean against it for a little bit, listening for any sounds in the hallway. Sir EEYOK? I call out weakly. Yes, Your Grace? I can hear his muffled voice from the other side. Just checking, I murmur. Is something the matter? Numerous responses come to mind, but I opt for the simplest one. I can't sleep. I'm too restless. EEYOK doesn't offer a reply, and the silence stretches on. It must be dreadfully dull to stand guard for hours on end. Sir EEYOK? I venture again. I'm still here, his voice reassures. Tell me a story, I request whimsically. Something to distract me, like, what was your childhood like in Grindalia? Once more, silence envelops us, and I wonder if he's hesitant to share private memories from his past. I may have gotten a bit too candid with him. Lonely, he eventually responds, his voice barely audible. Oh, I reply, taken aback by the unexpected answer. What about your parents? My father passed away when I was very young. Jack's curse, he reveals. I gently knock my head against the door's ornate carvings and exhale softly. Same here, I say in a soft voice. Both my parents died to the Drax curse. My condolences, he offers, and obviously we all know what a Drax curse is, so nobody ever needs to explain it. What about your mother? You didn't mention her. Still in Grindalia, he discloses. Oh, so you came here on your own, I deduce, assuming his parents had immigrated. However, it appears EEYOK journeyed to this country of his own volition. My mother is sick. I came here to look for a cure, he divulges. I hadn't anticipated such a personal revelation. The Drax curse? I ask, feeling uneasy. There's no cure for it. No, something else. That's reassuring, at least. Maybe he's half-dragon. And Drax curse doesn't affect dragons. Maybe Drax curse is like a curse put on everyone else from like this side. Not from the other world side, but from this side for what they did to all the gatekeepers. Maybe. I don't know the lore. I don't know, like, what timeline, how long Drax curse has been a thing for. I don't know this, but it could be. Drax sounds almost dragony, and there's obviously going to be half dragons, half humans, right? Half dragon, half gatekeeper. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever. Probably not. He's probably not half gatekeeper, but yeah. But maybe he's half dragon. That's reassuring, at least. The Drax curse plagues countless individuals, especially those in poorer districts who can't afford the food they grow themselves. Crops are withering and harvest dwindles each year, resulting in only the rich that can afford to dine until they're full. The rest of us scrape by, often surviving on meager fare like cabbage if it's not already rotten. That was me not too long ago. Perhaps EEYOK had a similar life before. What's Grindalia like? I ask, curious, having never ventured beyond the borders of my homeland. Cestial. It's livelier over there, he answers in an almost nostalgic tone. Really? I say. How so? There's less rules to follow. People are more open with each other. My mind drifts back to the time EEYOK taught me how to ride a horse. He mentioned that in his country, women rode just like men did. Less rules, such as women being able to ride on horses like men? A soft chuckle resonates from behind the door, faint but audible. I can almost visualize the gentle expression on his face, and it warms my heart. That's right, that's one such example. I think I'd prefer it over here. I muse out loud. I think I'd prefer it there over here, sorry, I muse out loud. Nowhere is perfect. Grindalia has its own share of problems, EEYOK cautions me. I pout. I guess that's true, but it's nice to imagine a place better than here. So why was it lonely? I dare to probe, sensing a deeper story. EEYOK hesitates before answering. Perhaps the question is too personal for him to answer me. It's not like we're close friends or anything. Grindalia isn't much different from... Cestial? I don't know. When it comes to judging people solely based on appearances, is his final answer. People judged him. My heart aches at the thought. I think back to the incident at the Hunters Fair, where Chelsea had cruelly ridiculed EEYOK without a second thought upon laying eyes on him. Your markings? I inquire. EEYOK says nothing, but he doesn't need to. I can already tell I was right. Were you born with them? I ask. I've always sort of wondered where he got them from, whether they would be scars from an accident or if he had them since birth. Sorry if the question is too insensitive, I mutter quickly. I've had them since birth, yes, he responds anyway. Half-dragon. I have this weird mole on my back, I blurt out without thinking, offering up my own anecdote. A soft chuckle emanates from the other side of the door. I smile in return, feeling a kinship with him. I can't help but enjoy hearing him laugh. I know, he admits. His response catches me off guard. I tilt my head, puzzled. How does he know? You do? I ask. Oh, he exclaims. I mean, it was back then, when you were, indecent. With each word, EEYOK's voice becomes softer, bordering on a whisper. Is it EEYOK, or is it from a previous timeline where, I don't know, we were closer or something? I don't know. My cheeks heat up as I remember the time he burst into the bathroom and saw me in the nude. He must have seen more than he alluded to. Now I'm too embarrassed to talk further. A sudden, forceful gust of wind bursts through the window, tearing it from its latch. My heart races as I see something dart across my bed, and instinctively I press my back against a wall. Is it a cat? EEYOK! I scream out loud, frightened at the sudden intrusion. Without hesitation, EEYOK wrenches the door open and rushes inside. Sword drawn and poised, his gaze moves from the open window to me and back again. In a swift blur, a tiny creature leaps at EEYOK, catching him off guard and toppling him to the floor as it buries his face in a flurry of fur. The little animal then scurries away into the hallway until I can see it no more. It's a cat. I breathe out, trying to still my heart. It's a cat. A cat broke into the mansion. Memories of before come rushing in and I suddenly remember the incident. A cat had infiltrated the mansion, giving birth to a litter of kittens in one of the closets. It had prowled around at night, scavenging for food, which had led me to mistake it for an intruder. How could I have forgotten this? Especially when it happened just before EEYOK was dismissed from his duties. After that, I didn't see him again until the day of my wedding. Is it already that time? I gaze down at EEYOK, who has propped himself up from the floor, looking a little bewildered. I extend a hand out to him and help him get up. Here, take my hand, I offer. His golden eyes meet mine, but he regains his feet without my aid. Do not trouble yourself, Your Grace, he says, brushing off his uniform. It appears our intruder was a cat, he observes. Yes, it all makes sense now why you couldn't apprehend the intruder before. It was simply a cat, I say, hiding a smile behind my hand. It must have been sitting out on the balcony in the wind all this time, I added empathetically, picturing the mother cat shivering up there. EEYOK strides over to the open window, securing it firmly. He pulls on the frame a couple of times to test the strength of the latch. It should be fine now. You can go to bed, I tell him, relieved he doesn't have to stay up another night to stand watch. Your Grace, are you sure? It may have been a cat just now, but we can't be too sure that the first time it... I raise a hand to silence him. Please get some rest. Thank you for keeping me company through the storm, Sir EEYOK. Although he appears to still harbour reservations and a sense of duty, EEYOK eventually concedes to my wishes and offers a polite bow. As you wish. He marches over towards my door, but halts and tilts his head to face me. Come get me immediately if anything occurs, he tells me. I offer him a warm smile, smoothing down my nightgown, knowing deep down that nothing will happen. It really was a cat all this time, and I had simply forgotten and turned paranoid that I had meddled with the timeline too much. Of course, I reassure him. Now get some well-deserved rest. Again, would you think this is a timeline? Would that be something that you think of? I don't know. Because it's such like a futuristic term even now. Like time travel is not a thing. Probably won't ever be a thing. So it's such like a sci-fi thing that it feels weird to have the word timeline in the 17th century. You know what I mean? But again, I guess we have to make some... I don't know. We just have to forgive it. Because this also has dragons and magic, clearly. So it's picking and choosing what you actually take from the actual 17th century. EEYOK nods and finally leaves. I return to bed, staring up at my ceiling. If a cat is in the mansion, then EEYOK is going to get fired very soon, most probably by the following day. I have to ensure this doesn't happen. EEYOK must stay in the mansion with me. Like 1,000%. The day has come. I was correct. It's the day EEYOK is going to be fired for something he didn't do. Back then I was ignorant of his innocence and stayed silent as Veritas berated and ultimately dismissed him from his position. It all revolved around a simple stolen family seal. Veritas bellows as he paces down the row of servants neatly aligned. It was securely tucked inside my desk, and my office is always locked. He pauses in his stride, his intense gaze fixed on his assembled staff. I used it just yesterday, and today it has mysteriously vanished. All this while under the vigilant eyes of my knights. He resumes pacing, his hands clasped behind his back. The tension in the room is off the charts. He rallied up all the servants this morning when he noticed his family seal was missing as he was working on some documents. In the original timeline, EEYOK had been unjustly blamed for negligence and for allowing the seal's theft while serving as Veritas' personal retainer. But things must have changed now. EEYOK is my retainer this time around. And there's even been an intruder in the mansion, someone you failed to apprehend, he berates his knights. It seems EEYOK has not yet informed Veritas about the small feline that caused all the mayhem last night. I feel the urge to speak up but restrain myself. I must choose the right moment to insert myself into this conversation. Am I surrounded by incompetent imbeciles? Veritas exclaims, venting his frustration. The seal. Who took it? Come forth now, and I promise only your employment will be forfeited, not your life, he threatens. You know, he kind of has the lizard eyes too. I'm just saying. One of the maids squeaks in fear, and Veritas immediately hones in on her. I remember this part. That's the same maid that allegedly locked me inside of the bathroom. Speak, child. Veritas hisses at her. I saw Sir EEYOK exiting your office last night, she murmurs. My eyes widen. That's not what happened last time. She was supposed to say she had scratching noises in his office at night. Wait, this is even worse. EEYOK was at Veritas's office last night on my behalf. This is even more incriminating. Sir EEYOK, you say? Veritas intones, his eyes narrowing as they focus on EEYOK, who appears increasingly anxious at the allegation. Speak your truth. Where is the family seal? Veritas demands. Your Grace, he starts slowly, I do not have the seal. Then why is this maid saying you were seen leaving my office? He huffs. EEYOK remains silent, knowing that revealing our activities from last night would only deepen the suspicion. You couldn't even apprehend the intruder, Veritas sneers in disdain. Perhaps I should terminate your employment on the spot. This is my cue to intervene. Your Grace, if I may, I assert boldly, interrupting him. Stepping forward, I position myself in front of the line of servants, determined to set the record straight. Sir EEYOK has been at my side throughout the night. It is impossible for him to have taken the family seal, I state with conviction. That's correct. I saw Sir EEYOK guarding Her Grace's chambers all night, Mandy chimes in before blending back into the crowd. Then if not him, who... I need to take a screenshot. I've been forgetting all this time. I cut Veritas off again. I know where the seal is, and I know the identity of the intruder as well, I claim. Everyone looks at me in surprise. Well, don't keep me in suspense. Tell me, Veritas demands. I politely bow in front of him. Come with me. I can show you. Without waiting for a response, I turn on my heel and march up the stairs. How does she know? I have a cavalry of servants following me as I enter the blue drawing room, Veritas and EEYOK up front. Drawing from my memories, I move towards one of the ornate cabinets that line the room's walls, crouching down to inspect the back. There it is, a small hole nearly hidden from plain sight, obscured by a potted plant. A soft chorus of meows reaches my ears, confirming my suspicions. I open the cabinet and gently pull out the bottom drawer. The startled meows grow louder as I reveal a litter of kittens, little fluffy balls of grey, white and black. Everyone in the room gasps when they see it. Raising my hand to hush the commotion, I peer into the drawer, scanning for the missing item. There it is, nestled between a kitten and a scrap of cloth, the family seal. I retrieve the wooden cylinder, holding it high in the sky. Veritas is going to be like, execute all those cats. They stole my seal. Your Grace, I announce, gesturing towards the kittens. Here's your culprit. A mother cat gave birth to a litter and mistakenly took the family seal, thinking it was food to nourish her kittens. Why would a cat ever think that? It doesn't smell of food unless he had dipped it in meat and tuna. Why would a cat ever do that? Okay, Look, I love cats. I've had cats my entire life. A cat would not steal a seal. It's a wooden seal, right? I just don't think a cat would take a seal and try and feed it to her kittens, because she would pick it up in her mouth and be like, this don't taste good. This don't taste of anything. In fact, this tastes like a tree. I'm going to put it back down. Blech. Now, how would the cat get into a drawer to get... Did EEYOK leave the drawer open? I don't think he'd do that. This is confusing. And also, how would you know that? How would you know that the cat did it when before you were so like, he stole the seal, and I don't know if he did it or not. I was scared of him before I died. I thought he was a thief, but now she's like, I know it wasn't him, and I knew it all along. I'm so confused. This is preposterous, Veritas scoffs at the notion as he makes his way over to the cabinet to get a better look. I don't think I'd ever be seen agreeing with Veritas, but here we are. Kittens? Are you saying a pack of rodents invaded Howell Manor? Yeah, I knew he was going to be fucking mean to the kittens. Die. They must have been born only a few days ago, I note, observing the fragile, unopened eyes of the kittens. Veritas retrieves the seal from my grasp, scrutinizing it for any harm. Ignoring his callous behavior, I lightly stroke the head of one of the kittens, eliciting a soft, contented meow. How cute. In the previous timeline, these kittens were discovered when they were much older, and by then, EEYOK had already been dismissed from his duties. Veritas grunts at the kittens and turns on his heel. I knew he was gonna fucking say that! I fucking called it! Fucking asshole. Kill them, he commands before leaving the room. I feel my heart sink. No! I announced to everyone still left in the room. I will handle this matter myself, I assert, determined to rescue the kittens from their dreadful fate. Please return to your duties, I urge the servants, hoping to clear the room. One by one, the servants leave, murmuring amongst themselves. I lock eyes with EEYOK, hoping he'll stay. Thankfully, he catches my meaning and lingers behind until everyone else has left. He approaches me as the last servant departs, and we share a moment by the cabinet, gazing at the trio of kittens with their mother nowhere in sight. How did you know? He finally asks me. I thought I heard some noises coming from this cabinet yesterday, I lie, and after encountering the cats last night, I suspected it might have taken the seal. You didn't suspect me? He asks, taken aback. Why would I suspect you? I did enter the Duke's office last night, after all, EEYOK admits. Well, yes, because I asked you to. It's not in your character to take anything from there. EEYOK appears genuinely perplexed by my words. He runs a hand through his hair and releases a short chuckle. I love that that's like a habit of his, running a hand through his hair. I always try to do that with characters as well, give them a habit that they will do when they feel a certain way. I think that's like such a good thing to do because it just makes you like familiar with the character and you kind of know how they're feeling whenever they do that. Uncomfortable / like flustered is EEYOK's thing that I'm getting. Like not uncomfortable in a way where in the strict terms of uncomfortable, but like just a bit wary almost, or like taken aback kind of thing. You are too kind, Your Grace. I don't know what I did to deserve such trust. I grace him with a kind smile in return. You saved my life. And that is not a lie. Then I gesture at the kittens. And you're gonna save them too. EEYOK blinks, clearly caught off guard. Pardon? Quickly, fetch me a basket and some cloth. We're going to relocate these kittens. You can't relocate the kittens without the mom. The mom's gonna be like, where the fuck are my kittens? Ah, sure, right away. EEYOK stalls before he moves. Relocate where? I place my hands on my hips and look at him with a grin. To your quarters, I answer with a playful twinkle in my eye. You need the mom. You need the mom. You need the mom. Okay, what I'm gonna do quickly right now is I'm gonna turn my hair black because it's just canon. I'm gonna keep the red eyes, even though that doesn't seem canon either, but we're gonna keep the canon, we're gonna do the canon black hair. All right, I will see you in the next one. Bye. It's not stopping. Let me do it manually.